What's going on, everybody? We're out in the garage again, our great recording studio. And today we're going to do something a little different. We're going to have a little round table, some questions with some of the people we've mentioned in videos before. So, you ready to kick this off?
Ready.
You nervous about any of the questions?
Well, you know, these two, you never know.
Never know. Alright, so today we are here with two of the people we've mentioned before. They're a little off camera. We have Sean over here and Haley over here. And she just gave an invisible wave, just so you know, she waved to you. So,
And as always, Jimmy.
Oh yeah, the camera person's way back there. So basically, we're just going to be doing a little Q&A, a little round table. It's kind of what we do all the time. We had a great discussion earlier today that would have been wildly inappropriate for YouTube, so that wasn't going to be shown. But other than that, we'll go ahead and kick it off. Do you guys have a question, or do you just want to get into it, or what do you guys want to do?
What's the craziest thing you've ever done?
Oh, so what is the what's the the legal term where you can't be charged for something anymore?
Statute of limitations.
Statute of limitations. What's a statute of limitation of cutting someone's nipple off?
Assault is
10 years.
relatively not that long.
How much did they drink?
Huh?
How much did they drink that day?
How much did they drink that day? I don't
Because if
know.
they don't remember, then you're good.
10 years.
They
should be
might
fine.
remember.
More than
We'll do something a little more tame than
Okay,
that.
fine.
No, I'll answer a question.
Okay.
But I'm just not going to answer it with that one. We'll save that one for a day when I've been drinking a little bit much. Let's see, the wildest thing I've ever done. God, I can only imagine what your story would be. You chased down the T-Rex or something?
No, I think it was when we hid Jesus' sandals.
James must have been pissed.
I'd say probably the craziest thing I ever did was, when I was really young, did some stupid, irresponsible stuff, like go to parties and wind up, motorcycling my ass home. I'd say maybe most of them are centered around drinking, and I hate to glorify that. But my brother and I drank probably, I must have been 15 or 16, put down a 6-pack and my own bottle of MD 2020, and my brother did the same, and we decided to go down to a town probably about 30 minutes away and holler at some friends. They weren't there. Wound up going down to the beach, rolling around in the surf, fully dressed, completely drunk. Driving home, both of us waking up, we're going north in the southbound lane, headed straight at a morning school bus. Whipped it back across the road, got to a gas station, got out. Somebody told us the tire was flat. Went to jack it up, the car started rolling out into the road because we didn't put it in park. So just, that's probably the craziest thing.
It's very tame.
Do you want
I didn't kill anybody.
Yeah. So do you want the
Maybe
fighting
anyone's
story,
nipple
or do you want the waking up in a tree story?
You said the fighting story or the waking up in the tree story?
Yeah, those are both pretty crazy.
Let's hear the fighting story.
All right, so this is a story about how I became a slightly urban legend. So I was in middle school. We're gonna go ahead and say I was of drinking age, and some buddies came to the house, and we were trying to decide what we were gonna do, and one of them said, "Hey, let's go to so and so's party." And that's the last thing I remember. So I woke up in the morning. And my buddies were sleeping on the floor next to my bed, and I get up and I go to the bathroom, and I'm like, man, my head hurts. I got a hangover, which usually didn't happen. So I use the bathroom and go to wash my hands and look in the mirror, and the whole side of my face is like bruised. And I was like, what happened? And my buddies wake up and they start laughing, and they thought I was joking. Well, I wasn't. So they started telling me the story about how we went to the party. I proceeded to drink of a legal age. You can put the cup down. It's not going to make too much noise. And then while I was there, my arch nemesis, who I had one, I don't want to throw his name out on the interweb right now. He was sitting on the couch while I was sitting like on a bar, in between the kitchen and the living room. And somebody pointed out like, hey, he's kind of mean mugging you back there. And I looked back and I said, oh, that's his name. And it's not a problem. And apparently that's when I decided to blow him a kiss. And he took exception to that. And I turned to talk to the person next to me whose eyes got all wide. And the arch nemesis came up and slammed my head down into the counter. And as he did, apparently it rebounded. And as my head rebounded, I jumped up off the seat and jumped on him and slammed him to the floor and started beating his ass. Laughing hysterically. And my buddies grabbed me and they were trying to tell me to stop. I elbowed one of them like above the eye, so he had a little black eye. And they dragged me off of him and they were like, stop, stop, you're gonna kill him. And I said, no, it's enter, arch nemesis' name. I'm not gonna kill him. And then I proceeded to kiss him on the forehead. Now, you hear this story once, you're like, all right, maybe you're embellishing. But over the years, this story has come up a number of times. I went to get my hair cut years later and walked into the barber shop and they were like, oh, what's up? Come on in. Ahead of some younger kids who were there to get their hair cut. And they proceeded to talk about this fight. And I reminded them, I don't remember any of it, but I noticed the two younger guys off to the side were looking at me confused and they were like, I've heard that story. My dad has told me that story. So that's how I became an urban legend, and that's one of my wilder stories. All right, so do you have a question?
Yes. Together, combined, you guys have 12 children. Who was the worst to raise, or who was the easiest to raise?
Who was the word? I mean, I did a little bit of the raising, but your mom did a whole lot of the raising. 12 kids between us. Man, I can't wait to be grandpa to like 100 kids. It's gonna be great. I'd have to say the most difficult was Sean. Sean was, the typical middle child. He had that I'm gonna rule the world and you can't stop me, and he had that attitude. And he did a lot of dumb stuff. One time I had to hold him out a window to calm him down. Haley, I'd have to say, was the easiest, and I think it's because she was pretty smart at a young age not to repeat her brother's mistakes. So she didn't have to be disciplined as much. I'll tell you, being a stepfather is a challenge because you can't. I came into the life a little bit later, and you can't just come in and just be like, disciplinarian, you're going to listen to me. You have to work up to it. However, I assume I did step into it pretty quick. But it brings its own challenges. But we got some good kids, and none of you were particularly hard. I don't know about you.
I'd say Michael was probably my most difficult, only because he was quite spoiled when I met her. He was 2, adopted him at 4, but I also had no clue what I was doing. I mean, I had some nephews, but never really had to do the watching kids, parenting, helping guide them through life and try to keep them out of prison. And I'd say Michael was probably the most difficult learning curve for me.
Now, to answer the question that you're not going to ask, I'm just going to answer it because I'm going to answer it. Who's the favorite child? It's Laylan, grandkid. So it doesn't matter.
Doesn't count. Who's your favorite child?
Laylan.
Who's your favorite non-grandchild child?
Doesn't matter. It's Laylan.
It's JJ.
No,
JJ.
definitely don't have a favorite child.
Oh, whatever.
No, because it's hard to explain until you are a parent and you're getting there, son. Each of your kids has a little piece of something that you love and enjoy. You and I, we play golf. We go out and do that kind of stuff. You and me, Haley, we cook, we make things, we do our charcuterie stuff. It's just a different level. JJ, huh?
Shopping is what you two do.
Back to school supplies.
Back to school supplies,
I
favorite
love
time
back
of
to
year.
school supplies.
And JJ with fishing and it's fishing right
It's just
now.
cool.
And JJ, I mean, he looks like a Gap model, so automatically makes me look better when I'm with him.
Does it?
I dislike them all equally.
No, it's his dad. So
Yeah.
yeah.
So I mean, there's no. I mean,
They
like,
all got problems.
we could go into all the kids. Like Alex, she's real easy. She's fun to. She laughs at everything. So it doesn't really matter with that. With Brandon, he you pick a topic that he's interested in, and we'll talk for hours. You know, Savannah, she's at that age right now where she has that teenage angst where she doesn't really. She gets, irritated, but she always smiles when you do something that's irritating and she's walking away, she'll grin. Adriana is kind of at that stage where everything's an obsession. She spends time with whoever she's spending time with. That's 100%. And Bella is just, when she's alone, she's a dream. She's great. When she's with her sisters, sometimes she can be a little bit much. I think today is Luke. Luke and I had a pretty good conversation.
You have such a different relationship with each one of them.
Yep.
You love them all. Biologically yours, not biologically yours. You love them all, but your relationship's different with each one. Like Haley and I always have a lot of good conspiracy talks and smart people talks about rocks, and it just shows me how dumb I am. And then Sean picks up on everything, all my dark and stupid humor. He picks up on it the fastest.
Smart talk about rocks. That's hilarious.
You wouldn't get it. It's okay.
You wouldn't.
You're just not
Talking
there.
about hard
Hey,
rock.
only dumb people don't get rocks.
I got a bag of rocks in my car.
We're talking about Nickelback,
I can name 'em.
Creed.
Alright, okay. If you could have, hold on. If you could have an unlimited storage of one thing, well, besides whiskey and cigars, what would it be?
Besides whiskey and cigars, I mean, you took away 90% of what I need storage for.
Motorcycles?
No, I think, what I mean is like, not just the storage, but like unlimited whatever it is.
One
supplies,
item?
Yeah.
Like one item?
Mm-hmm.
Gold.
Got it.
Yeah, but if you have
Alright.
so much, it makes
So-
it useless at some point.
No.
Not if it's just yours, I guess.
I can sell gold anytime and buy whiskey and cigars. It works.
That's a difficult question
It
because,
is. One thing?
Let's say that doesn't give you some sort of financial interest.
One item.
Yeah.
So it can't be different things of the same item?
Well, I mean, if it's books, it could be books.
Well, I would say ammunition because I love to go shoot. And
Okay.
ammunition is
Yeah, you
expensive.
could say that.
I would like ammo for all of my guns, and I would just like to go in, put a bucket against the wall, and get an endless supply and go to the range.
That would be sick.
Yes.
You could say motorcycles. I think that's fair.
Well, that would be it. That would be
Yeah.
the one thing that I would probably want limit to have just any Harley I wanted throughout time, anytime I wanted it.
That would be sick.
Jeez.
That would be.
Ride a different Harley every day.
Match them to my outfits.
Jeez, it's like, having a whole bunch of, wives. Except you wouldn't have to deal with, yeah, I saw that look. Except you wouldn't have to deal with, the attitude parts.
I just thought of my list.
All right, what about you? You got another one? You got one back there?
Alright, you guys carry around a bag every day. Both of you like to carry stuff with you. What are your big 3 items that you need with you every day?
Well, it varies.
I can take this one. Mine would be my chargers for all of my devices. All of the vape equipment and liquid that I carry. These are the main 3 things I make sure are always in my bag. And then my iPad is usually in there, always in there. There's many other things, but those are the 3 main.
No. All right, so everywhere I go, 95% of the time when I leave the house, I carry along my pew pew. And so I have that. I usually carry a couple extra magazines. And that goes, that's definitely in the bag. I'm not. Got some mopeds riding by for some reason. That must have been JJ. So I carry a couple extra magazines. I usually carry an extra pocket knife and my multi-tool. I could go through exactly what's in my bag. He got me actually, I think for my birthday, a little, no, I got the med bag. You got the pouch. You got the patch. So anyway, I got a first aid kit, individual first aid kit where I carry like a, basic little first aid things that everybody makes fun of me. Oh, you got a first aid kit until someone gets a boo-boo and wants a Band-Aid. And it's got like a tourniquet. It's got some just regular first aid stuff, just minor stuff. and whatever I need for that day. Sometimes it's extra water bottles. Sometimes it's batteries. Sometimes it's vape stuff. Sometimes it's cigar stuff, depending on where I'm going. Got a cigar case, my lighters. It really depends on. It changes all the time depending on what I'm doing and where I'm going. But the main ones are magazines, an extra pocket knife, my multi-tool, and the first aid kit because it's attached to the bag.
Safety.
Oh, that was
Safety.
lemony.
Okay, I got a great question. So, I have been thinking of starting a cult for a while now. What kind of cult should we start together?
Cigar and whiskey colt.
But I don't even like any of those. I'm the one starting it. You guys are just joining me.
Well, I'm not joining one that doesn't have cigars and whiskey.
All right, then we will start a cult, and we'll go against your cult. What kind of cult are you starting?
Cigar and whiskey.
Well, you just do this all day?
Could you imagine a garage full of middle-aged men who are smoking cigars and drinking whiskey? How collective they would be if you tried to take it away?
That's called a podcast.
It would be
It would be awesome.
this. It would smell so
So
bad.
I
bad.
think call it a gang or a militia.
Wow.
Lungs are gone.
A gang or a militia? Is that what you said?
I said it might be called a gang or a militia.
Oh.
Bunch of guys sitting around getting drunk and smoking cigars. And like,
I don't know, a cult. I mean, a cult has such negative connotations. It's not really a positive thing that we would start.
You make it
probably
positive.
something like the Church of the Setting Sun. It's about a bunch of guys don't work. People give us money. Maybe we swing a little sheesh on the side.
Definitely a pyramid scheme of some kind. So, you know, like you'd have us, you know, all the way on the top of the pyramid. In order to get higher rank, you got to give us money so we can have barbecues, smoke cigars, drink whiskey. And the higher you get, the more prestige you get, but the more money you have to put into it. It would definitely be the pyramid scheme kind of thing. Not like sex or death or anything like that. It would definitely be, you know, let's get some money, let's get together. In order to be a higher prestige, to get a little, you know, epaulette on your shoulder, you would have to donate more money to the cause.
Like pranksters and jokesters, where, you know, like every April Fool's Day we try to get everybody to drink the Kool-Aid. You know, just to see if they
I
will.
literally just said no death.
We didn't start. He's saying it's a joke.
Now you're talking about killing
Yeah,
people.
he's just making people drink
Literally just
Kool-Aid.
Kool-Aid.
He's like, I made you guys drink that Kool-Aid.
Yeah,
Does it have whiskey in it?
yeah.
Kool-Aid whiskey.
There you go.
That actually sounds pretty good.
That'd be a good joke.
Continuing on the cult theme, which one of your children is the most likely to get involved with a cult?
Sean.
Christian.
I agree.
Sean's most likely
I was
to
about
start
to say,
a cult.
Sean's most likely to
Christian's
start
most
one.
likely
He's
to
most likely
join
to
a
get
cult.
in one. You know what? Thinking about it, Bella would be right up there with you.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
what I said. That's
Bella
what
would
I
be
was
right up there
thinking.
with
Yeah.
Bella. Sean would be able to make a cult. He'd be able to use his personality and his eloquence in speaking in order to keep people. Bella would just keep him in line with violence and threats. And you wouldn't believe it because she's so adorable and she's so sweet. And then you'd wake up to a knife to your throat and you'd be like, whoops, I misjudged this really poorly.
Okay, this kind of goes along the lines of,
Of
the same
course.
question.
Wow, we are talking a lot about cults.
All right, so the last question was...
Well, let's address the elephant in the room.
Oh,
we
no, we weren't supposed to say
have
that.
switched locations, as you may have noticed. I had some problems with sound and noise and disturbance out in the garage cigar studio, so we moved inside to the bar.
Plus, I mean, it's
Thought
the
it might-
bar, so it's where we spend most of our time anyway.
So I thought it might go a little smoother. All right, where did we leave off? What was the last question asked?
One rule that would have to be enforced that you would want to enforce.
All right, now is this a rule that is only involved in the cult?
No,
or
I
is
think
this
it's
just a rule in general?
Well, I mean, my rule was slap a bitch, so I mean, that wasn't necessarily a cult.
Well, I think mine would cater more to my career, which is trucking, and I believe anybody not going 15 over the speed limit should not be allowed in the left lane of any roadway,
15, and yeah, especially in the left.
especially interstates or 3 to 4 lane highways.
Yeah, and merging.
Well, I guess you would
up,
call those 6 to 8 lane highways because it'd be 3 to 4 per side.
speed up on the freaking off ramps or on ramps.
And please take a minute to stop and think about how many blind spots and how hard it is for an 18-wheeler to stop, and how much of the time we cannot even see you.
All right, we're hearing the
Anyway, enough
motorboat. We're hearing the motorboat back there. She's got a little excited. All right, next question. What do we got?
We got a question from an audience member.
Audience member, here we go.
Lucas.
Loki Pie.
How would you get away with murder?
Damn, we can't share that online because if it happens, we're going to get caught.
No?
Easily.
Okay.
I immediately call Jenny, and I'm good to go.
All right,
Because
so
she has MDK'd out the yin yang and would be
Yeah.
able to cover it all up. That's how I'm dying. And she's going to cover it and get away with it.
see, that's why I don't mess with my wife. You know, she might be 100 pounds, but she knows where I sleep. And she's a nurse. She can make me bleed without, you know, probably me feeling it. Never mess with a woman. How would I? Well, we have the Everglades right out there, and apparently alligators love pork and ham. So, problem is getting there. So we'd have to find a way to get to the Everglades, cover somebody in ham, and throw them in the water. Or dig a deep hole. Well, they can smell down there. Or we could just Dexter it, wrap them in tarp and throw them over a boat, and let the crabs get them. Or find someone who's got a pig farm. But I think the Everglades is going to be the easiest way. It's just getting there. That's going to be the issue. But we're not going to commit murder. If we do, it's going to be out in front of everybody. So that was easy.
We'd never do that. I mean, I have a list, but we would never do any of that.
Never get caught. I would do it in a way where I wouldn't have to get rid of a body. Hey, let's go fishing out in the Everglades. Hey, where's so-and-so? I don't know. He never showed up. Easy.
All right.
All right, so I think we got a good one here. There's silent laughing. So, silent laughter.
Hey, why don't you make another drink?
Alright.
I just did.
You laughter you.
Stop laughtering me.
Alright. What superpower would you want and why?
Oh, we answered this one before, but we're going to have another. I think I have another one. What was it? The magic pecker. No. We're going to have to go with something different this time.
That's got to be a superpower, not a pleasure power.
You said you were going to tackle bank robbers with it. Let's see. Superpower.
Oh, wow.
Maybe, I would say super strength, but I already got that.
What did we say last time? We did this
You
question
said
a while
magic
back.
pecker.
And I know
And
we
I
talked
said-
about teleportation.
I said teleportation.
And,
It would, oh, that was spicy. I would have to say maybe the ability to, trying to think about something cool from The Boys. Because yeah, I don't know. This is flying. I'll just go with flying. No. You know how Captain America can throw his shield and it bounces off stuff and defies physics? That's what I want to do. I want to defy physics anytime I want. Definitely.
I think I'll go with more of a Deadpool thing. Lack of being able to die or be killed. Because that opens the door up to do almost anything and survive through it.
Yeah, but you're not exactly...
Why are you laughing? Question, lady.
The continuation of that question is now, what if each time you used it, you had 1% chance of getting terminal cancer?
Well, Deadpool
use
has
it?
cancer.
That's true. he
Yeah,
does.
so he's good. He's 1% chance of cancer to defy physics.
1%. Each
I mean, okay, look.
You mean it gains 1% of the disease per
Is
time?
it cumulative
Or 1% chance
It-
of getting it?
I can't think of the word. Does it add up each time? What's the word I'm thinking?
Am I gambling it or is it a guarantee?
So here's my thing. I vape, I drink, I live, I
I
eat.
already got the cancer.
I'm already going to get the L cancer, so, might as well throw stuff around. I think I'd have to go with it.
This goes along very nicely with our episode of movies and Marvel and all
Yeah,
that
I
stuff.
tell you.
Yes.
I mean, having like flash speed sounds great. In
Sounds very
Hawkeye,
tiring.
Hawkeye shot 18 holes in 18 shots and made 18 hole-in-ones. I would destroy playing golf, making 18 hole-in-ones.
Yeah, because that's what you would use your superpower on, a day of golfing.
A life of golfing. You know how much money I can make? Making 18 hole-in-ones? Tiger Woods, who?
Nice.
All right, what's next? Who's got a question?
We'll time skip this awkward silence. Hang on.
So, awkward silence indeed. Let's see.
Okay.
All right, hold on. Go.
3 of your children are unmarried in relationships. What are your thoughts on those 3 significant others specifically?
Are we going to rank them?
No. What are your thoughts?
Wait, which 3?
I'm fine with it.
The 3 unmarried ones.
I'm fine with it.
Well,
and I
there's-
think if
there's
they
4.
haven't
Who's the 4?
lived
Alex.
together,
Yeah.
Oh, well, JJ's not really married yet.
but I
Yeah,
don't
but
think
he
if they,
is.
I think if they haven't lived together or slept together, then they need to get those done before they get married. The only reason I say that is, man, can you imagine being a virgin? You go for 15, 18, 23 years without ever having someone, and then you get with someone, you get married, and find out that you have no likes in the bedroom. You know, one's maybe very sexual, one's not.
Now, this is definitely not for, preteens.
My ex was a pack rat, and I am a neat freak, and horrid. If we'd lived together for long enough and had realized it, might have been able to save some headache.
I would have to say when it comes to the kids, so are we ranking the significant others, or are we saying what we feel about the relationship?
Shots.
I don't know. Like all of them. Luke, Christian, Maddie, even though she really doesn't count
Sorry, my
because
favorite fan is staring at me.
because she's about to, be part of the family here in a few days. And then Kayla, just like them all. There's really nothing. I mean, let's be real. We can sit here and play games and say no one's good enough for your kid and stuff like that. And I don't know. My kids picked some pretty good ones right now, and pretty glad about it all.
You know, we've had a few. We've had a few that just, you knew from the beginning they didn't fit. We had a couple pretenders to the throne. They came in, said all the right things, acted the right way, and then we found out they weren't who they said they were. But for the most part,
And that adorable hiccup you guys are hearing is our favorite kid. He's back here watching us right now. All right. Definitely like all of them. There's not a single one that I wouldn't want to get rid of.
some of them took a little work to get them up to speed, but they're there.
I have to agree.
All right.
He's getting hiccups.
Baby's got hiccups, and it's freaking adorable.
He's adorable.
Just want to say. All right, so we got got another member of our group back. Do you have another question?
Yeah, what's the best decision you guys ever made?
Best decision I ever
Oh,
made?
I know that one, hands down. Hands down.
Alright, what is it?
Putting myself on a dating site,
Same.
which I had never done before, and I did it, and it's been the best 7 years of my life.
Best decision.
It might not have been her best 7 years of her life, but it's mine.
I'd have to say, decision-wise, I don't always make the good ones, but for some reason they just end up working out. Met a girl when I was 17 and had a couple of kids, and the marriage didn't work out, but that relationship.
I don't think that's your best decision.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
I think your best decision was to decide to be my
I didn't
friend.
get there yet.
I think
Will you
really,
let me get there?
You really got lucky.
God, you're just like, hey, I want to put me, say me, my name, my
Me.
name, my name. So,
Say my name.
hold on, I'm
You
going
know
to
you
get
want
there.
it.
I'm going to get there, relax. Wow. See, instant gratification. This is what's wrong with the elders of today. Couldn't say youth because you haven't been a youth for, 70 years. All right, so end up making decisions that don't necessarily work out in the moment, but they always work out in the long run. Then I met a girl, and she moved in really quickly. A little bit of miscommunication. Now we're married, and now we have add more kids to things. Just not, I don't know how else to say. I make really bad decisions that work out. But the best decision, I would say, I guess, meeting a girl when I was 17, having kids, getting divorced, and her finding my best friend. This asshole. So I guess that worked out. I guess so in the long run,
Here's looking at you, kid.
All right. This is the opposite question. What's the best no you've ever said, or like the most significant no you've ever said?
The best no I ever said.
Most significant.
Most significant.
So like, it could be like.
Oh no, I understand the question. I'm just trying to figure out when I've said no.
I think my most significant no would be when my train wreck of an ex wanted to get back together. And I'm not going to say which one it is. I've had many. Wanted to get back together, and I said no. And I was totally not in a good headspace, so I'm very proud of myself for saying it.
I'm still struggling to find a time when I said no. Oh man, that's so adorable. That kid. Man, this is a really difficult one. I very rarely say no, but if I say no, it's, you know, a real legitimate reason.
Do you ever say no? Do you ever say no?
I have said no before, but
Really?
it has to be a real good reason. All right, getting back to, you know, a long time ago. I remember when back in high school, I met a girl, and she had given me the talk about it's time to grow up. You know, 17 years old, now I got to be a grown up. And so I had to be an adult, and I remember a buddy of mine was going to do something stupid. And I wanted to help him do it. But I knew it wasn't the right thing to do. It wasn't the right way to go about growing up, and I tried to grow out of the person I used to be, and I just... I didn't want to take part in it, and I ended up telling him I wasn't going to help him do what he was going to do. And years later, that friend, he went ahead and did it, but years later he was arrested, not for that, but doing more stuff like that. And I haven't heard from him since, so I don't know what ended up happening to him, but I'm glad I said no, because at that point it was time to move on and grow up. 17-year-old adult.
What was it? What he wanted you to do?
I don't want to talk about that. It had to do with somebody disrespecting him and making sure that he knew that it couldn't happen, and doing some stuff that maybe shouldn't do. You know, stay in school, kids, no violence.
Just whiskey.
Well, when you get old enough. Definitely, but not when you're young. All right. Any other questions out there from the congregation of our cult? Because I know I see this adorable little baby over here laughing. I think he thinks our answers are hilarious.
Ooh, this is a deep question.
Ooh,
I don't know for either of you, actually.
Who's this come from?
Nah, I just looked up online.
Oh, okay.
Oh, it's heartfelt. Thanks, bud.
No, this is. What can you tell me about the first time you experienced loss? Who was it? Did you go to their funeral? And how old were you?
It's weird.
You want to go first, or?
Either way.
First person I lost that I know for sure that I remember is my Uncle Barry. I was very young. I'm not sure exactly how old I was. But I remember my mom, like most moms, was the one to wake the kids up in the morning. I'm the one who wakes the kids up in the morning. Huh. Anyway, but my dad woke us up this morning, and I knew something was wrong because my father never woke us up. And I went into their bedroom when my mom was on the phone crying. And come to find out, my Uncle Barry had died. And my Uncle Barry was like... he was kind of like when your parents said no, he was like, screw that, and went ahead and did whatever you wanted to do. I wanted a little video game, and I remember this was back when video games were, you know, just starting to be video games, past Atari, but right before Nintendo probably. And my dad said I couldn't have the game because I couldn't figure out how to play it. But my Uncle Barry said, I'm going to go get it. So he went and got it, and that was the type of person he was, and he was gone, and it hurt. I didn't understand it at the time, but I've always, for the rest of my life, it's always been something I've thought about.
How old were you?
I don't know. I must have been young, maybe like
Elementary school?
it was very early elementary school, but I can't remember exactly how old I was. Very young.
Well, I didn't lose anybody until I was in my upper teens, almost 20s, and I lost some grandparents. But I really wasn't close to them. Was when I was little, but didn't really know them by the time they passed. So I'd say I have two influential people that passed in my life that affected me greatly. One was a good friend who rode in the bike group that I was part of at the time, and I was there for his passing in the hospital, and that was definitely one of the most emotional times of my life. And then the second one would be my father, who passed during the COVID time. He got COVID, he went in, they put him on and I think that one was difficult in a way where, you see him 2 weeks ago and he's perfectly healthy, and then 2 weeks later you're saying goodbye and he doesn't even know who he is, let alone who we are. All in a 2 week span, and my dad was only 72-ish, right in that area, and completely healthy, still doing lawns with my brother and my son and my nephew. So a very virile man, still a very healthy worker guy, and for him to just go that quick, it was devastating.
Lost a lot of people that.
All right.
Thanks for bringing it down there,
let me find a funny
buddo. Well, we got a funny one from the gallery as well. We want to include that one.
Okay, is that the FBI one?
Yep.
Okay. If you were an FBI agent, what celebrity would you be their FBI agent?
All right. So this question involves, like the internet thing, where it's like when you do something on the internet and your FBI agent's like, oh God, here we go. So that's what it is. So like when, let's say you're talking to a girl, like not us, but someone else, talking to a girl, and you say something lame or horrible. The FBI agent does a facepalm like, oh Jesus, or you say what's up to your FBI agent, or say nope, that was just a joke. That's where it comes from.
So you're picking the celebrity that you would be the most
investigating,
embarrassed, or
no, the one the one you follow, everything they do online.
So
you're watching.
So essentially, say you were a 20-year-old guy and you were on a dating website and you sent a absolutely ridiculous message to a girl that you should not have sent, and your FBI agent saw that. Some of the memes are like. I don't know.
Everybody has their own.
They're talking to the old guy who doesn't have any clue about this little thing.
Every person has their own FBI agent watching everything they do online.
Oh, kind of like a guardian agent.
But doing a facepalm at all the dumb shit people do.
They just pay attention.
So
pretty sure my guardian angel spent his life in his face.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
that's
exactly.
the whole
It's a new age.
All right. So what celebrity
would you want to be the FBI agent to?
Because I don't want to put my face in my palm, or I want to put it in there
Either way.
I mean, because you got the Britney Spears of the world that you're going to live with your hand in your face in your hand.
Kanye.
Oh God, that's one too. Just be sitting there the whole time like.
Bob, we'll probably get canceled right after this show. So I would say I would probably like to follow someone like Keanu Reeves. I think
I can't tell if that would be so boring.
It would be either really boring.
I think it would be encouraging to see that level of humanity in somebody with that level of fame.
If he's online enough.
True. You might not even be able to see it.
But if you're an FBI agent, you're not going to just go online to check his life out. You're going to be doing all other kind of investigating. You didn't say online only.
This house is probably filled with cameras. FBI can get into that.
Yeah.
All right.
Not that you would trail him. You would do stakeouts. You would do everything you have to do.
You just want to hang out with him.
I just
All right,
find
Keanu, this is a joke. They're not going to stalk you.
Oh, we're not going to stalk you.
No, I'm not going to.
But if you do want to like, comment, subscribe, we would be eternally grateful.
I have never been a fanboy of anybody. I like some celebrities. I think sometimes you meet a singer or a celebrity, and you're like, I could chill with that guy and have some whiskeys, but never that. Oh my God!
He does seem like someone you could hang out with.
Yeah. Well, he's into bikes and stuff, and so am I.
I've got about 2 or 3. But I gotta stick to my guns here, and I gotta go with Ryan Reynolds. I think he'd be hysterical. I would love to follow him, except for the obsession with soccer.
But I think that his private life is not that way. I think his private life with his wife is very Family Guy. I think it's his
Exactly.
celebrity side is over the top, but I think when he goes home,
But I think it would be cool to follow,
Strikes
see
me as
what
just
dumb
an
shit
amazing
he
dad.
has to do and say.
It reminds me of Sean as a dad.
Yeah.
Like, they would be similar dads, like very involved.
Yeah, that's why I think, just like how you say Keanu, I honestly think Ryan Reynolds would be somebody that would fit in with this group.
Oh, I agree. I totally. If I had to follow certain celebrities, they would both be at the top of the list.
So Ryan,
I
like, comment,
could
subscribe. We'll invite you
chill
over,
with.
make some drinks for you. Promise not to fangirl too hard.
No, whatever.
Just a little bit. Just a little bit.
Wait, who's the other one? You said another?
I would have. It would either be him. Keanu was way up there, and Jason Momoa is another one that I think would be really awesome.
Goodness, you're worse than my wife.
I think he'd be a cool person to hang out with. I don't want to see him naked.
I encourage that visit.
I think mine would be probably Keanu Reeves, your guy,
Ryan Reynolds.
because I like what little I know about him.
What he said is,
and
he
then
can
I think
he
my
can
third
envision
choice
naked
would be
Ryan.
someone like Shamar Moore or something like that. I think he's another guy that I think would just be a straight shooting, just down to earth guy.
Yeah.
I also second that one.
I know you do.
which
Amy.
one?
That's one of the reasons I'd have
Shamar
him
Moore?
over. It's just for you.
Oh, from like CSI?
From SWAT.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's not CSI. It's
Or
from
what is it,
Criminal Minds.
Criminal
Criminal
Minds.
Minds, yeah.
Criminal Minds and SWAT.
Yeah.
All right.
And SWAT, and she is.
One more question.
All right.
This would be kind of a two-parter.
Dos
Well-
Hartos.
Well, a two-parter for him, I guess. Well, I guess a two-parter for you too. You
Well,
can
I'm not
answer.
50 yet, so
Okay.
it'll probably just be one part.
So it's the question is, how did you feel on your wedding day, and what memories of that day stand out for you most? But the reason it's a two-parter for you, I like, how would you want if you were to get married again? How would you want your wedding to go? You, not her. How would you want your wedding to go?
Wow, that's weird because guys don't put a lot of
No,
worry into that. I want a very short ceremony. I worry more about her happiness during the actual ceremony than my own because let's just get the rings on our fingers and be done with it is kind of my mentality. But the party would be epic, and we would definitely be riding away in the motorcycle.
It would have to.
It would definitely be Chuck Taylor's a motorcycle, kind of wedding.
And then how about your first one? Was there any red flags during the wedding or before?
No, not my
How did
first
that
one.
wedding
My
go?
first one, I was too young, man. I was 20 years old. It was,
Married twice.
and the first one was like, I thought it was my forever. Because you're 20 years old. You're invincible and everything's amazing, and you can't help but think that you could ever love anybody but this one person. It's that over-the-top delusion of life. You don't even. I don't see any other girls beside her. My second one, red flags were dinging from the time I met her to the time we separated. The red flags never quit
He's
flipping up in the air.
colorblind. He wasn't sure if they were red or gray.
It's one of those. My second marriage was one of those marriages that you keep thinking the whole time. You keep trying to convince yourself the entire time. Maybe we can get past this. Maybe we can make this good. Maybe this will work. Maybe if we keep trying hard enough and long enough, we'll find our rhythm. We'll find our way. We'll bind together. And the truth is, if it's not, it's not. And I didn't know that because I've had two marriages and neither one were the right person for me. And a couple of decent long-term relationships that went every bit as long as the marriages, and just wrong people. You knew it off and on from the whole time. You just knew this isn't right. This isn't working. And now I'm with someone who, it hits all those boxes where you just know this is a beautiful thing. The problem is when you have been through a bunch of crappy relationships, you worry about, is it the right thing for them? Do they feel the same way I feel? Mm-hmm. Because I could do this until I'm dead. This is just it for me. But do they feel the same way? Are they going to tire of me? Because when you've been through that many relationships, you begin to think, like, I got a shelf life. I got a tolerance life. People can tolerate me for about 4 years, then they're out. And she's made it.
8.5.
She's made it for going on 8. So
Nice.
8.5 is a limit for me. So we got another couple months to go.
Well, no, you made it to 10, didn't you?
I'm
Well,
talking about him, me and him.
no, I know, but
dude,
Well,
I
how do you
couldn't
know?
shake you off with a stick. You would find me.
Hey, what are you doing in there? Come
I'd
out
have
of
to
the
go
tree.
into witness protection.
all right. So what do you even remember about either of your weddings?
Okay, so you want me to talk about both?
Let's hear the first one first. Were you? You weren't even of age. You couldn't even drink. I'm sure
Oh,
you drank.
I didn't drink.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was not drunk.
Completely sober.
Yeah, that punch bowl had the balloon on it, not for the drink this one. Apparently it said vodka.
No, he wasn't drunk. I remember one of my favorite moments of his entire
Hold on,
last
no,
wedding.
no,
No,
the
I'm
first
telling
one.
this one.
We're talking about the first one. Hold on, we'll get to that
okay.
in a minute.
I don't know anything about the first one.
The first one, I mean, we were young. We were very young. I was 18. Just graduated high school. And in fact, we got married a month after I graduated high school. This one was in attendance. He didn't know it at the time. And JJ was in attendance as well. I mean, it was, okay, look, that wedding day was rough. You know, we saved for a year, 18 years old, 20 years old. We were trying to make it work. Money was very difficult, trying to plan it. We had a lot of help from a lot of people who were involved. My family came down from Virginia. And the morning of, JJ stabbed himself with a pair of scissors right in the chest, so they had to go to the emergency room. My pants were too long. The tag said the certain size, but it was not. So I had to go to Jenny's aunt's house, and as soon as I walked in, Jenny's cousins ripped my pants off, and I was sitting in their living room with her Uncle Bubba, who was also sitting in a shirt and underwear. So it was interesting. Then there was an accident on the turnpike, which none of my family got there on time because a freaking helicopter had to come and evac people out. So I mean, it was hectic, it was hot, it was rough, but at the same time, at the time we were happy. I was happy about it.
So there were red flags. You just weren't looking at them.
There were red flags all over that relationship from day one, from both of us. But we just refused to see them because, you know.
Yeah, you got great kids and a decent friendship out of it. So
yeah, decent. It's okay. It's all right. You know, if it wasn't for the kids or you know the grandkids or him or the dogs or the bar, you know, I don't know if I'd spent so much time. No, we do have a really good relationship, friendship. We talk. We're able to.
Is tolerance and fear a friendship?
It's not fear anymore because I can leave. You know, I can.
Tolerance and fear.
But I can come back. You know, it's just like we're able to communicate. That's something we were always able to do. We were able to communicate. Now we can do it without yelling and screaming, so it's much nicer. But as far as the wedding is concerned, it was a rough day. It was a rough day. But at the time, I like to think we were both happy. You know, it wasn't that bad. It was not what we wanted, but it was also what we could afford at the time. But now, my second wedding. So we were supposed to get married in May of 2020, but because of COVID, I got stuck in Iraq until August. So I was over there for, I think, 9 months, I think in total, 8-9 months. And for about a year, I had been saying, I'm getting trashed at my wedding. Gonna get totally trashed. And then COVID came around and I, you know, reiterated, I'm going to get trashed at the wedding. And the day of the wedding was kind of really super chill. The boys, we were just hanging out. In fact, at some point during the day before, Brandon, my stepson, and I went back to the house and I took a nap and we watched Princess Bride. It was a very chill day. Girls, not so much. The girls apparently had a super hectic, crazy, ridiculous, awful day. But then when we got there, I got yelled at several times because our friend's house, who we were having the wedding at, one of them would tell me to come bring something, and the other one, her daughter or the mom, whichever way you want to say it, Kim and Monique, they were like, "You're not supposed to be here. Leave." And I'm like, I was told to bring this. But the first thing we did when I got there is I couldn't go inside, and it was about 100 degrees. And finally, when I got inside, there's a great picture of me drinking some rum. I don't think we have it here. Me drinking some rum, and Sean holding the bottle for me. And so the wedding ceremony itself, it was perfect. It wasn't what she wanted, but it was exactly what I had hoped the wedding would have been. Small family, you know, family around, friends. I thought it was great. Then we went and took pictures. The problem is we went to take pictures and everybody who knew anything about the wedding and the party were with us, so nobody told everybody to eat when we had all that food there. Then I came back and started drinking. And I don't think I ever stopped. So we did the toast and stuff like that. And then they were going to throw me in the pool, and I'm assuming this is at which point he's going to take over the story.
Well, he had told us prior to the wedding, he had told the two boys and I that he wanted us to throw him in the pool at some point after the toast. And we said, sure, no problem, we'll do that. And, well, when it came time, he was so excited for us to throw him in the pool that as we were trying to get him to throw him in the pool, he launched his own self into the pool.
Okay.
And we stood there just watching it go down.
All right. So this is at the point where I was a little toasted, maybe a little bit more than toasted. I remember specifically my intention behind throwing myself into the pool. However, apparently my understanding of what was going on at the time was a little bit off.
He says he was doing it to drag us in with him.
Yes.
Yet he did not touch any of us on his way to the pool.
I wanted to take my shoes off, take my watch off, take my phone out of my pocket, and I didn't care about anything else because it was hot as shit. So as soon as I took my shoes off, I went and tried to grab them, which apparently in my peripheral, they moved. And so I went to grab them and grabbed nothing and ran towards the pool and lost my balance. I mean, I'm already tipsy. I'm running full speed towards the pool. I'm like, all right, I need to jump in the pool before I fall on my face. So I jumped in the pool. But that was the intention. I remember the intention behind it, but apparently it was way off. Then, I don't remember anything else from that night. Not a thing. There's not a thing I remember for the rest of that night.
It's good times.
Hear stories about it all the time. And then every time we tell stories about it, someone tells a new one. All right then. So I guess for now, we'll sign off on that one. And enjoy editing this one.
See you guys next time.
So until next time, remember, like, comment, subscribe. It helps us out. Ask questions. We'll do one of these with every question we get from in the comments. So make sure you hit it up and
smash that bell.
peace out, everybody.